Today we are going to study the poem A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. Before I start explaining the poem, we should know a bit about John Keats, who was a British romantic poet. Although trained to be a surgeon, Keats decided to devote himself wholly to poetry. A Thing of Beauty is an extract from his poem Endymion, a poetic romance. The poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd. The myth of Endymion is hardly complicated. A beautiful young shepherd is visited by the moon Diana in his sleep. She kisses him and he wakes from his dream. However, this simple tale has inspired artists for centuries. Each time the story is retold, it is done in a new and personal manner that emulates the ideals of the creator. Two such artists are Anne-Louis Girodit and John Keats. The two men are hardly similar, the first being an artist and the second a poet. However, their interpretations of the Endymion myth are similar as seen through Girodit's The Sleep of Endymion and Keats' poem Endymion. John Keats is one of the great romantic poets known as the poet of sensuality. The word sensuality reminds us our five senses. Through his poem, we actually can listen, visualize, feel, smell, or taste. He makes us do so with the use of words. It will be a great work if you try to find out words what you can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel from this poem, A Thing of Beauty. For better understanding and explanation, I have distributed this poem into five parts, though they are very much interconnected. First, A Thing of Beauty. Second, things that cause suffering and pain. Third, beauty moves away the pall of sadness. Fourth, things those are source of happiness. And fifth, nature, an endless fountain of joy. Yes, before we read and explain, you all must ask yourself, what pleasure does a beautiful thing give us? Are beautiful things worth treasuring? I am sure all your answers are very, very positive ones. Moving to the first part, A Thing of Beauty. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth? The poet identifies beauty with truth. There is a feeling of comparison and harmony between actual beauties of the world with the ideal beauties. For ideal love, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. A thing of beauty is joy forever. A thing of beauty, a bower quiet for us. A thing of beauty, wreathing flowery band to bind us to the earth. So, why a thing of beauty is joy forever? The loveliness of it goes on enhancing. It gives us a sleep full of sweet dreams, health, and peaceful breathing. It helps us in achieving the peace of mind. It reserves a quiet place in our heart. It heals our sorrow and restores happiness. It binds us to this beautiful earth. A bower quiet for us. A bower is a shady place under a tree. After a scorching heat, the bower soothes us. It reserves a quiet place in our heart. It is a metaphor. Just like a bower, a thing of beauty offers us soothingness and happiness. Therefore, are we reading flowery band to bind us to earth? The thing of beauty are like wreaths of beautiful flowers. We seem to weave a flowery band every day. It keeps us attached to the beauties of this earth. Keats, the lover of beauty, employs his sense of to discover beauty through this poem. Let's start reading the next part. Spite of despondence, of the inhuman dirt, of noble nature of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways made for our searching. First, let's check the things that cause suffering. They are dark phase of a life, adverse circumstances, gloomy days, bad health, desire to offend others, hopelessness, lack of noble men, unhappiness. So basically, our conclusion is that John Keats is both a realistic and an optimistic poet. He is a realistic poet because he accepts the unpleasant things of life. On the other hand, he's an optimistic poet because he has hope, because he believes that beauty has the power to remove the inherent gloom of our life. Let's read the next part. In spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from dark spirit. Beauty moves away the pall of sadness because it is a thing of beauty. It is a joy forever. The loveliness of it goes on enhancing because it heals our sorrow and restore happiness. Let's read the next part. Things those are source of happiness. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon from simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. The mid-forests break, rich with a sprinkling of fair mask rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales that we have heard or read. We must remember that anything and everything which is beautiful can be our source of happiness, like the sun, the moon, old and new trees, daffodils, clear rills, masked roses, shady trees, dense green bushes of forest ferns where fragrant masked rose grow, grandeur of dooms, mighty dead, and tales of heroic men who sacrifice their lives. So, the poet divides the thing of beauty in two parts. Here, the beauty in nature and the beauty created by human civilization. Let's talk in detail about the beauty created by human civilization. Grandeur of Doom refers to the monuments we erect to honor the mighty dead. These monuments, which honor men who are no more, are the symbol of mighty sacrifice and greatness, and in such dedication, mortal man passes into immortality because their beauty captured in these monuments make them immortal and their deeds eternal. Mighty deeds are the great people who have given up their lives for the humanity by struggling and dying for others. They are called so because they were generous and provided happiness for others. They were mighty for the reason that it is more difficult to die for others than living for oneself. They are in the same way beautiful as they grieve for other people that like the daffodils and trees. They provided happiness to others like the clear rills, and they burn for others like the sun. Grandeur is associated with the mighty dead because they will always be remembered for their noble and splendid deeds and creation. They have left behind a legacy for us to enjoy. The poet compares this importance with that of the beautiful things on account of the fact that the great people die for leaving happiness to the rest of the world. Let's read the final two lines. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring onto us from the heavens' brink. The beautiful image and imageries in the poem, it is the endless fountain of immortal drink. It pours constantly into our hearts from heaven. Why? Because beauty lasts forever and beauty is an immortal drink. The thing of beauty is a joy forever. It is a constant source of joy and pleasure. Beauty never declines or diminishes. Its loveliness goes on increasing every moment. It removes the pall of sadness. Summing up, beauty lasts forever because it is an immortal drink. Or we can even say it in the other way around, beauty is an immortal drink and hence it lasts forever. Let's have a quick look between the first and the last lines. Beauty's effect on soul. A thing of beauty is joy forever. A thing of beauty, an endless fountain of immortal drink. If a thing of beauty is to last forever, then it should never change or alter. It should neither increase nor should it even diminish in its appeal. But here the poet asserts this not as a matter of fact, but that of hope, as if in form of a wish made by him to be approved and granted in the earnest. The concept of beauty is the concept of happiness, a bower quiet for us, a cooling covert make against the hot sun. Let me repeat what I said earlier. The poet identifies beauty with truth. There is a feeling of comparison and harmony between actual beauties of the world with the ideal beauty. For ideal love, a thing of beauty is joy forever. This poem is also a thing of beauty. A thing of beauty which will never pass into nothingness. In the same way, the beauty of his poem will never pass into nothingness. A thing of beauty turns an endless fountain of immortal drink. Same way, reading of this beauty is an endless joy, an endless fountain of immortal drink. About the structure of the poem. Endymion is written in rhyming couplet, written in iambic pentameter, which is also known as heroic couplet. In this poem, we find the following poetic devices like metaphor, alliteration, imagery, symbol, and transfer epithet. Metaphor like bower quiet, sweet dream, wreathing a flowery band, Paul, endless fountain of immortal drink. Alliteration like noble nature, cooling covert. Imagery like flowery band, shady boon, daffodils in green wall, clear reels, cooling covered, grandeur of doom, endless fountain of eternal drink. Symbol like simple sheep refers to mankind as Christ is shepherd. Transfer epithet, gloomy days, unhealthy and overdarkened ways. A simple message is there throughout that a thing of beauty is joy forever. Hope this will help you. Good luck.